cover me.
Kinetic shock.
Hey everyone, what's up? And welcome to the first episode of the Comet Spot. Thank you for joining us. This is going to be the first time we're doing this. We have been discussing this channel for a little bit. And who is we? Well, I am Joe, in case you do not know who I am, Joe the psychologist. And this here is Ricky. Ricky, how you doing tonight? You ready for this?
What up, Joe? Yeah, I'm ready, bro. I'm ready. We been discussing horror films for about 5 years plus, so we got other things we want to discuss and show our passions for, mainly comic books, movies, television, all that good stuff. So yeah, man. This is gonna be a fun one. A little nervous, I won't lie, but it's all good, brother. How you feeling, bro? How you feeling?
I'm nervous as hell. I mean, you don't understand. I ate my
Cheers,
feelings
brother.
today.
Cheers, brother.
I fucking grilled my ass off since I woke up. I've eaten my feelings because of the nerves.
Because of the nerves.
But yeah, usually
Hey,
if you
one also, no, you're not late. One, what's up, brother? Appreciate you
No,
stopping
you're not.
by.
Thank you for joining.
Yeah, we're a little late because it's the first one and technical difficulties always arise, bro. So
And yeah, honestly, that's kind of our thing though, a little bit.
yeah.
So, and we're okay with that. But yes, so basically, what we're gonna be doing here, you're going to be joining on the conversations that me and Ricky have after we finish recording something for Horror Fiend TV. Like we, especially on Sundays, we would like tape something to pre-record, and we would sit here for about an hour and do this. And then sometimes we would go back and forth on a debate. Well, you know what? It'd be good to have if somebody join us. Hey, Selena, somebody join us on this. And every once in a while, well, one of us might actually win an argument if we're going back and forth. We'll be covering a different variety in pop culture. So bear with us because normally we're also used to just discussing one thing. It's going to be, multiple topics, and you never know how we'll be by the middle of this whole thing. You just never know. So we're going to try to keep it together. But for the first part, in this, it's comics, movies, and television. And I collected comics way back in the day. I fell off for a bit. I thankfully, Ricky had been keeping me up to date. He would show me issues that he's gotten. I have read things online and try to keep myself up to date. Started collecting again around right before Infinite Crisis, and stayed with the New 52. And then I stopped again. But hopefully within next year, going to be full back blown into collecting comics. So a lot of the more recent stuff is going to be coming from Ricky, but he has been telling me the one thing that's been going on in DC, which was the another universe that was created. So we're going to hit up the comments real quick, and Ricky is going to give us the lowdown on DC's newest universe.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What up, Selena V? Super excited to see where this channel goes for you fellas. Appreciate that, Selena. And she gives us Dale. Oh, excuse me. Congratulations and salutations. What up, Adam? Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. And Mrs. Tara Wilson. Hey guys, how you
Mrs.
doing?
Wilson.
I just got reminded that I'm seeing The Evil Dead on Tuesday because I saw Tara just pop in. And I can't wait. I'm excited.
I went Friday with Lexi.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Like, hey, say no more. But yeah, man. For me, real quickly, yeah, I've been collecting comic books since the '90s. I think Batman versus Predator and The Amazing Spider-Man, I believe it was 358, were the two issues I bought for the very first time. And since then, I've been on and off, but I jumped on a couple years ago now, so I'm pretty in tune as to what is going on. And the biggest thing in comic books right now, Joe, and I'm Joe's the DC guy. I grew up with Marvel, so I tend to be more of a Marvel guy, and Joe is DC, so it's a good contrast here. But right now, DC Comics is on fire because of one one particular line, and that's the Absolute Universe, the Absolute line of books, which launched with Absolute Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, followed by, I believe, Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, and The Flash. And now we got a couple of miniseries that are circling right now on the pull list. But the Absolute Universe. Now, Joe, I had told you because this started back in the All In special. You had picked it up, right?
I did.
There you go. Oh,
I wanted to make
I
sure.
just went through it today too, just to get a little
Nah,
preparation for that.
I wanted to make sure that as you're talking about it, especially since you called me out
Yeah.
on being the DC person, I'm not sitting here not knowing what the hell
I'm
you're
gonna go to
talking
you,
about.
man. When I got a lot of questions when it comes to DC. Again, I'm not really too familiar with a lot of the backgrounds and certain characters, but the Absolute Universe, of course, it all started with one character, Darkseid. I know you're a big Darkseid fan. If you want to real quickly, I know we didn't plan this, but if you want to give us a quick brief rundown on who this character is and why is he such a badass?
I mean, he is a new god. And
Jack
obviously
Kirby creation, by the way.
Jack
Yeah.
Kirby creation. The High Father was basically his mortal enemy. He has children, Orion, which actually ends up becoming his enemy. But there's a lot along the way that he ends up having. But eventually, he becomes the Justice League's greatest foe. And at times, it takes the entire DC roster, both good guys and bad guys, to be able to take him on. And many times, many people have joined on his side in order to take down our heroes. I am going to say that as I was reading the All In, and they kept on calling him Uxas, I'm like,
That was
what?
his former name, right?
Yes, I was
I had
like,
to look it up too. I
me
had to look
too.
it
I'm
up. I
like,
had to
who
look it
the
up.
fuck is Uxas? And I'm like, did they create another dark side?
No,
And
no.
you know, the one thing, you know, which I know you'll get into more, is that there's what, you know, DC has the multiverse. You know, Marvel has the multiverse, but you know, in those universes, everyone has a different variation of it, except for Darkseid.
I was gonna bring that up because that's I just learned that reading the All In special, right? The fact that yes, the multiverse, there's Earth Zero, for example. What other Earths are there in DC?
Prime.
Prime.
You got the one, I forget the animal one where the carrot, Captain Carrot is from.
I just gotta say Captain Carrot. I
Because I'm
didn't
trying
think you
to,
was gonna
because
come up today.
I didn't know you were gonna start asking me also
You're the
multiverse
DC
thing.
guy.
I
I don't know.
am,
All right,
but dude, you
but
gotta let me know when you're gonna ask
to
me some questions so I could.
to
But
but
there
all
are
right,
different
to further elaborate on what I was
Earth 2.
getting
Oh, you
at.
got Earth 2.
Or of course Earth 2, right?
Good,
Earth
you know,
X, right?
Earth
So
X.
isn't Earth X the Nazi? That's the Nazi
Yeah.
world,
Yep.
right?
Yep. Yeah.
So, uh, in every multiverse, in every world, there's a version of Superman, Batman, you know, Green Lantern, for example. But there's only one dark side. I just recently learned that because again, I don't have a lot of extensive history with these characters. So I found that very fascinating to me, and the fact that this motherfucker is like, what do you call him? The All Father. That's what we
Basically, because the thing is, in order in order for him not to be as powerful as he is, his power is siphoned through the multiverse.
Mm-hmm.
So that basically helps create a balance
Mm,
in the universe. But in doing so, it leaves him weak.
yeah. Boogeyman promised to go into some deeper explanation about the absolute DC universe. Yeah, there we go. All right. Speaking of that, so this all begins because Darkseid, there's a machine, right? It's what is it, the Miracle Machine or the Wish Machine, right? So what it is, this machine allows you to whatever you wish is granted. I'm assuming, but it doesn't work for just anybody, right? It
No.
has to be you need to sacrifice your blood for it. It's a blood
Well,
bond
it
essentially.
needed it needed his blood.
His blood, but it wasn't enough.
However,
But yeah, the machine was crafted in it's crafted in Element X from the Forge of Worlds. Are you familiar with Element X? So it's designed by Hemon. That's the character name, and he's responsible for the Mother Box. This particular character. Now,
alright.
Hemon was lied to by
Hyman.
Darkseid.
I thought it was Hyman.
Hyman, right?
Yeah.
He was lied to by Darkseid because Darkseid pretty much say, create me this machine, and I'll resurrect your dead daughter. Um, what's her name? Mecca. I wrote it down actually. Anyway, Becca. So of course, Darkseid was lying through his teeth. He wasn't gonna resurrect her. He just wanted this machine built, but he needed to bond with the Spectre. Chat me
Mm.
up on the Spectre. How strong is this character that he is the one that Darkseid needed in order to make all of this happen?
I mean, the guy is basically the god of vengeance.
Right.
In
I'm not
in
familiar with him too much, so yeah, that's why
Yeah,
I
so
asked.
he's the god of vengeance. So I mean, like as far as magic and what the Spectre can do, it's unlimited. I mean, he's omnipotent. When during Crisis on Infinite Earths, which you'll read and I won't spoil, but he plays a big part in that storyline also.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he is now. Funny enough, though, when he first started, he wasn't shown as powerful. He was part of the original Justice Society of America, like talking about back in the day, like on the
Mm-hmm.
actual roster,
Yeah, yeah.
and they didn't show him to be as strong. But as the years went by, basically creating and developing the character more, he's just become an important part of the universe. Um, Hal Jordan was a Spectre also for a time being.
Right, right. I remember that, yeah.
Yeah.
So the whole point is, so this is where I want to get through to you real quick because I recently reread this. So Darkseid bonds with Spectre for so he's able to create the absolute universe. Now, why he created a brand new universe where the heroes are all at a disadvantage of some sort. It's a world of chaos essentially. Now, what's okay? You're gonna say something?
No, I was trying to. Sorry, I was
Oh,
as
go
you're
good.
talking.
Yeah,
As you're
yeah.
no,
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 it's
no. I
cool.
wasn't. I wasn't cutting you. As you're talking, my brain was flipping through the page to try to get
Yeah.
in my
So
brain. Sorry, my face sometimes reacts when I'm thinking.
but the crazy thing is, I didn't even get to this. Darkseid, he maims himself. He cuts his hand off, and that's how he you pours the blood into the machine. But it's not enough. It needs more of a bond. So his son comes over, Calabac, right? That's how you pronounce his
Calabac.
name?
Yep. Yep.
Calabac is saying, "Yo, I got forget the parademons. We got paradevils now," which is interesting because one of those paradevils, rereading it, was a white Martian, and the white Martian
Yeah.
is the villain in the Absolute Martian Manhunter book. Which, going back in retrospect, I just realized, oh my god, they foreshadowed that way back in the All In special, which is interesting. So he takes it. His son's like, "You're not even looking at this army. I got you, Dad. What are you doing?" Darkseid just grabs him and just fucking just stabs him and uses his own son's blood to further the bond with that wish machine and to pretty much make it happen. So I wanted to make sure I threw that in there because that just shows how desperate Darkseid was to create this universe. Now, what was the reasoning behind creating the absolute universe,
Well,
Joe?
because he was pissed off that he found out that
Yeah.
basically all this time, everybody's been in on this big secret, because it was at the end of Absolute Power, that even though I don't collect it, on this All In, thankfully it had it in there. But Amanda Waller had found a way to depower all the metahumans, and in order for them to get their powers back, they once again had to destroy the multiverse, knowing that they'll figure it out again. And in that moment that they destroyed the multiverse, Darkseid felt all of his power again. So he was searching for the source of this power, not knowing that it was basically because since now that all the multiverses were gone,
Mhm.
and his essence had been through all of them, it was actually coming back to him. And then when he found out that he's the only one, and we're basically siphoning your power away to make sure that there's balance, no, there is no other you. You're the only one. And
Mhm.
I mean, it kind of I hate to point, it made Darkseid appear like a tragic victim in it, if you think about it.
Mm.
You
and,
know,
and that makes
because
sense why Darkseid would choose now to pull this off because all the heroes were weakened because of absolute power.
yes, and
Yeah.
it's like it, and like I sat there and I'm like, wow, like I kind of understand now why he got so pissed. I mean, you guys are basically, he's been doing these fighting all these years. He's been involved in so much, and to find out he's the only one, and that
Mm.
all these people are aware that you're basically, the dark side. Ah, duh, literally, it's right there. The dark side of, the multiverses, but
Yeah.
more of the essence of it, not the
Right.
physical part.
I loved before I move on. I loved when Darkseid he was searching for a Spectre, so he goes through hell. He goes to I believe heaven. Then he goes to the
Yep,
dark side of the moon where he meets Eclipso. He messed them up, bro.
he did.
I love.
And Eclipso was on his where he's the
Yes,
strongest.
yes.
That's the
And the
crazy
fact
part.
that he said, "Oh, you're gonna be turned to dust in about a few seconds." He's like, "Well, how? Well, I already set the timer. That's all I know." Boom. He's like, that was
Yeah,
great.
that was pretty
But
awesome.
I really want to. I'm gonna talk about the Trinity. I won't talk too much about the other ones here for time's sake, but I really want to focus more on the Absolute Trinity because it all starts with Absolute Batman. This is written by Scott Snyder with art by Nick Dragotta, which they both collaborate on the plot. This is a book where Batman is pretty much stripped down to the basics. He's not rich. He's not wealthy. Martha, his mom, Martha Wayne, is alive, but his father is not. Now, instead of Joe Chill killing his parents at the alley, they go. There's a school trip where Bruce and all his friends they all go to the zoo. That's why the first trade is called the zoo. And
Ah.
yeah, so they go to the zoo, and then there's a shooter there, which is Joe Chill. He starts shooting people, and his dad, in order to save all the kids, he gets shot in the process. So that's where the story kind of starts. And Bruce is again, he's not wealthy. He's a blue collar guy. He works in construction. He's an engineer. What's cool about him being an engineer is he got pretty much all of Gotham laid out with booby traps and secret passages, and he knows how to get in and out of almost everything. So he's a very smart individual when it comes to like devices. But the biggest difference here is he's not really like a detective. Where Batman would think his way through a problem, he would that's how he will come to the solution. Will be using his brains. But in the Absolute universe, this Bruce Wayne, he's more of a brawler. He thinks first with his fist. And it makes sense because this character is big. He's 6'9",
God damn.
421 pounds, and he's only like 20 years old. He's a kid, so whenever he don't got his mask on, he's got a baby face, which angers me when a lot of artists get it wrong and they do variant covers and they make him like grizzled looking. He's a young kid. Like why do you know? But whatever. That's just a nitpick. But it's a great book because the Absolute Batman title is more horror based. Every villain there is twisted, and Nick Dragotta, he's the star of the book to me, the artist, because his character designs are flawless, man. Everything stands out, and everything is flipped on his side. Like the Robins are with Joker, and Harley Quinn is with Bruce. So everything is really like unlike Marvel when they got the Ultimate Universe. There's a few design changes, but relatively the status quo is pretty much the same. Now with the Absolute Universe, everything is different. Brings me to, for example, I don't want to say too much about Batman because I know Joe wants to read it, so I'm not gonna get too much
It's
into
sitting
the
up there. It's
details.
still
Yeah,
wrapped
yeah,
in plastic. I had to put it in a plastic thing to
yeah.
stop myself from like actually starting it.
We're
Even though I
gonna
can open
cover
it,
it.
but
We're gonna cover that. So
next episode.
that's what Joe's waiting for, by the way. It's not that Joe don't got the book to sit in there. No, he's waiting for us to cover it so he can read it and it'll be fresh on his mind.
Yes,
But
sir.
that brings me to Absolute Wonder Woman. This is probably I think Batman is the most popular. It's got the more hype moments. But as a personal favorite, as far as the, like character, Absolute Diana is my favorite character because this is a character that has a lot of compassion, loves animals, for example, and always protects the weak. And this is a character that was raised in hell. So Apollo pretty much was angry with the Amazon. So the very last Amazon to be born was Diana, and he took Diana and pretty much dragged her to hell essentially, and let Cersei, who was in hell for punishment, pretty much said, "Here, this is yours now. You do whatever you want with it." Not knowing Diana, pretty much they left Diana in hell so the demons, all the monsters could just eat her or kill her, or whatever, whatever. But Cersei was like, "No, I'm not gonna let that happen." So she raised Diana from a baby all the way until like adulthood. And the nice thing about this character is too, she's also a witch in a sense because she has magical power. So imagine Wonder Woman with actual powers, like which like spell casting. And I don't want to say too much giving it away, but she's also has a
We're gonna cover that too. Don't worry.
yeah, I'm not gonna. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'll let you get into that because it's better if you read it on your own. But she has so many character traits that are so adorable, and it's just a character you root for. And again, in this book here, yes, Steve Trevor, he's in it. Barbara Minerva, you know who that is, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Cheetah, but she's not Cheetah. Again, everything is a little different in this absolute universe. But it's a great book. Kelly Thompson is the writer. Hayden Sherman is the artist, and they do a great. I mean, the layouts in this book, the paneling is gorgeous. Some of my favorite artwork in the whole series. And one thing with DC, I will say, when they bring in a fill-in artist to do work on these books, they're not like in-house artists, man. They're usually like big names, like Jock, for example. He came in and did an issue with Batman. Marcos Martin did something. They really go out of their way and pick artists that are going to stand out, and their strengths are going to be used to the fullest potential, whatever story arc they got going. And Zatanna also debuts in Absolute Wonder Woman. Oh my god, I love
I can't
Zatanna, one
wait.
of my
I can't wait
favorite
to see.
characters.
Yeah.
And so that's again, that's a great book. And Absolute Superman, Superman is a little different because this is a darker Superman than what you're used to. Not Superman himself. Um, Morally, he's the same character, But what I
Younger
mean by
too, right?
huh?
Younger.
They're all younger. But
Okay.
this Superman wasn't brought to Earth as a baby. He came as a teen already, a young kid.
Oh boy.
So yeah, so we spent the first few issues between like present time and Krypton. So you see like his parents again. They're like also
Ah,
They're also blue collar workers over in Krypton. So the his parents knows what's happening to Krypton, right? So the upper class knows that Krypton is gonna go bye bye pretty soon, but they don't say nothing. They're preparing an escape plan already, and they're gonna leave all the lower class people to pretty much fend for themselves, unfortunately. And then Kal-El's parents discover this, and then they do everything in their power to stop it. But once they can't, of course, then they send Kal-El to Earth. But they don't send him. Well, I don't. I'll let you read it again. It is a little different. It's a little different. But the nice thing about it is Superman's cape is great because it's pretty much made of dust from his planet, from Krypton, from the red sun. So, and it was alive at one point. It was called Soul. So it also was designed by his mom. So that cape was pretty much made to protect Kal-El when he travels from Krypton to
that's pretty
Earth.
cool.
So it's really cool. And then you pick up with the Kents are not it's only Ma Kent, and she's like in the hospital. She's got like dementia. So Cal's or Clark, I don't yeah, I'm pretty sure, is he Clark? I don't even know if he's Clark or not. He should be, because he don't spend a lot of time. Again, he's always Superman, so he don't have a Clark Kent persona. He doesn't work at the Bugle for Bugle, the Daily Planet. It ain't none of that. He's always Superman. So that's why I'm like, wait, do they ever call him Clark? I don't know, but they must at one point. But anyway, I digress. So it's that one takes a bit to start though. I'm not saying it's bad. It's really good now. Excellent. But unlike the others, it took a while to find its groove. But once it did, Jason Aaron, you might be familiar with him. He's the writer, and Rafa Sandoval is the artist. And again, they be picking up some great fill-in artists to do work on here. Juan Ferreira being one of them. And I definitely recommend all three of those books, man. And Superman has some great fight scenes in it. But there's one negative though, that it depends on how you're gonna feel about it, because the main villain to start is Ra's al Ghul. It's a Batman
That's
villain.
weird.
So a lot of people were upset saying, "Why Superman needs his own villains? Why is he fighting a Batman villain?" But don't worry about it. Give it have some
Well, I mean, you
patience.
you also have to
Those,
think that
yeah,
this is not the same universe. It's a new universe, and from some of the
dude,
things that I
yeah.
understand, all the heroes and their advantages got taken away, and
Mm-hmm.
some of the villains, their disadvantages
Yep.
got heightened, and or they didn't
Mm-hmm.
have disadvantages. They were actually maybe better off or doing better than than their counterparts in the other universe. It's something that
Yeah.
I've kind of picked up on as far as how this universe is a little bit flipped on it.
Hmm.
And again, it's all Darkseid wanted, if he's gonna have a universe, this is what he wanted to see, So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, dude.
Like I
I
said,
can't. It's just, there's so much more I want to get into. So we are gonna cover these books. So we'll get into all the details once Joe reads them. I don't want to spoil it for you, Joe, or anyone else that hasn't read them. I'm just giving you a quick overview of what these main titles are, so you have a basic idea and understanding going into it. Because it's definitely worth the time and money if you wanna. I would buy the trades, buy the floppies if you want to go back and get them. Batman's are a bit more expensive to get from the start, obviously. But one thing I will say, Brainiac is pure nightmare fuel. The one thing with the Absolute Universe, it's a lot darker. It's a lot darker. For example, the Absolute Green Lantern book, Green Arrow, sorry, which is more of a miniseries. That's a slasher. It's a horror slasher. You think about that, and it works. But in Superman Brainiac, I will say one thing, man. His debut issue, when they really find out who this Brainiac is, it's a whole issue pretty much dedicated to the character from the beginning of his creation all the way into where he is now in the present day story. I mean, this one panel, I will say that he makes this guy puke up his entire insides, and he just melts away, bro. Like graphic stuff. Like, this is a DC book. Oh, yeah, it is a holy graphic, dark. I love it. So yeah.
that's why it keeps, because remember, Darkseid created it, so everything is dark.
Oh, and
Hence,
the best thing about it is, in these books, especially Martian Manhunter, which is that's done. That's 12 issues, one and done. That title's done. That was by Dennis Camp and Javier Rodriguez. A gorgeous, gorgeous book. The story's a little hard to follow, but if you reread it a few times, you'll start picking up all the key details and you'll understand what things are. But Darkseid appears for the very first time in the Absolute Universe in that book. But it's really quick. The way it's handled, I won't say, it's so great. When I turned that page for the first time, it blew me away. Like, all right,
well,
I love the Absolute. Dude, I'm telling you, this Absolute Universe, eh, it's worth the money, effort, and time to put into it because the creators are given free reign. You can tell, and it's all done with passion. It's not like the Ultimate Universe with Marvel. They fucked that up. That's a whole different conversation right there. But I can't wait to get more in depth into this.
yeah. So on our next one that we do, Ricky will start, because again, growing pains. Every channel goes through them, but the next one, he will go through the releases for that week and or weeks, because we're still not sure if it's going to be every week, but we'll keep you updated on that. As well as we continue to grow the channel, we will do some events in comics. Obviously, we'll go back and forth on it, because since he is the Marvel guy, I would love to go back and read some events that had occurred that I didn't collect. But I mean, we're going to obviously start with the granddaddy of all events. So it's going to be Crisis on Infinite Earths. I bought him a copy to make sure that he has that one, so that we can eventually cover that. Keep an eye out for the channel. We'll figure out when that'll do. But yes, we'll have some just standalone episodes, not live content, where we're just going to discuss events. I would be very curious to, I'll let you pick the Marvel ones, but I will say I really would like to, if they do have it, and obviously I have to get it in trade paperback, but the Civil War one, only because when it came to the Marvel movies, one of my favorite ones was what was basically the Captain America movie that was Civil War.
Hmm.
So hopefully that would be on your list of Marvel events for us to cover, and
As good as the
fall of
movie
the
was,
mutants too.
as good as Civil War was, I think the comic is way better. You read it,
So I'm
right?
saying, so
Yeah, yeah.
no, that's why no, I
Oh, you never
haven't.
read it.
That so we're, instead of doing a live where we're gonna get into it, because we're both gonna want to. We'll be dropping an actual episodes where we just discuss the event itself.
Mhm. Well, when I say way better, it's not. Let me rephrase that. The reason why I say it's better, obviously, because they have the benefit of having the entire Marvel universe involved. X-Men, I mean, everyone's got a role in it. Punisher is in it, for example. Even a lot of villains, a lot of D and C list villains are in it. And here, they kind of compressed it, obviously, but the movie's great. I don't want to say the movie was bad by any stretch of the
And
imagination,
and
but yeah,
we'll have to revisit Secret Wars before
yeah,
they actually
yeah,
do the
of course,
movie.
yeah.
So that should be on your Marvel list. All
Yeah.
right, so now we'll go ahead and get into the movies. Now obviously, if there's a brand new movie that dropped in the theater, we'll be covering that one. Other than that, we may go back and something. We just started this channel, so we can go back and discuss something that recently dropped. But we're going to start with the most recent DC universe or cinematic universe. Is that what they're calling it, right?
The DCU, I believe, right?
Something,
DCEU, is it? I don't
something
know.
like, yeah. I get them after the other one. I got all confused, but and that is Supergirl, and it is directed by Craig Gillespie and written by Anna Noguera. Sorry, I apologize for that. She is a name that is also tied to other future DC projects, which I'm going to comment on once we get to the end of discussing this. But the movie stars Millie Alcock as Kara, Supergirl, Eve Ridley as Ruthie, and Matthias Schoenaerts as Krem. Oh, and of course, damn it, Jason Momoa.
Jason
I almost called him the wrong name there. Jason Momoa as Lobo. You just like literally you saw this today.
Hey,
So
you
it
forgot
is.
somebody. You forgot David Cornsweet. You mentioned him?
Oh, and David. Well, I mean, it's gonna be a given. He's gonna pop in here. But I because like literally when I say you just saw it, you literally saw it today.
Yeah,
It is
yeah,
much
yeah.
fresh in your mind. So what are your and we're not going to be doing when it comes to the movies, there's no ratings. It's just gonna be this is literally how we're just gonna discuss it the way we I'll interject every once in a while, but I won't completely cut you off. And vice versa.
There's a reason why we started this a little late. Yeah, the movie's kind of long, and they gave not overly long, but it's a couple hours. But the problem is, bro, it took like 40 minutes, I think, to start. The advertisements and trailers are out of control, man, out of control. But yeah, I just literally saw it. Hey, saw that? Boom. That motherfucker never fell in ever, and it decides to fall right now. So I will say the movie is I know it had a lot of backlash for whatever reason. For my overall thoughts on it, I did enjoy it. It's a fun movie. The characters are likable. I think what I really was surprised with all the number of different alien type characters that are in this movie. I loved all those characters. I love when she called that one dude Squidward. uh, that was pretty cool. I wasn't expecting it at all. Now I will say honestly, I did not read The Woman of Tomorrow. I think this was inspired from that book, but
Yes,
I'm
it was.
familiar with the book. One thing I will say, that book is really colorful, and this movie is really muted, really dark as far as like the color palette that was chosen. It something about it, I don't know. I wish the movie was a little. And when I say I don't want, it's not like it's dark where I can't see. I just wish it felt more like a Supergirl. You would expect it to be like lively and not. It looks like she's living like post-apocalyptic world. You know what I mean?
But I want to say that in the Women of Tomorrow, that's kind of what a little bit, even though the color wise looked like that, I think that was kind of the tone it had. Which
Mm.
I wonder if I remember. I didn't collect it either, but I also remember that some people loved it and a lot of people did not, and that's why I was like, "Ugh." So if you already kind of knew that as far as a mini series, using it as source.
Mm. Well, it's a Tom King book, and if you read his current work, I mean, it's so
There,
malign. Oh my god! But I will say, overall I have fun with the movie. I wasn't bored. I was entertained. But there's some nitpicks I have. Like not really a fan of making the character Supergirl like a drunk. And I hate. I said this before. I hate characters that they're constantly like drinking and drinking and drinking. To me, it's just so fake. I hate seeing that. But to take this character and make her, she was disheveled and she looked like she never she is she doesn't bathe. You saw her spaceship was all fucking trashy. It was like, what are they doing? But and then of course they do the one fucking thing they always do. They wait to the last like 10 minutes for her to put the damn suit on. Like what? Why you gotta? She's wearing a jacket. Like I said, she looked like a homeless person the whole movie. I don't know. I was like, but I'm getting the nitpicks out the way first. the villain, I know Krem. It looks completely different here.
Yes.
As far as the character, I think he wasn't. I thought it would be worse. I think he was a good villain because he was despicable. He had no he had no moral values at all. He's very he's a bad guy. He would kill anyone just for the fucking fun of it. So as far as like a villain that you're not rooting for, he's not cool. He's not supposed to be cool. So I would say that I don't like characters that are overly designed. All that shit on his face was uncalled for. I think I don't know why they got to overly design a lot of these characters when it comes to like film. It's lazy to me. I don't know. I mean, I know the original character is very plain Jane. Maybe that's why they wanted to spice him up a bit. But I think they didn't have to make them all like I don't know, all the piercings and stuff or whatever those things were. Would you put those shit? Would you put that shit on your face, Joe?
No, and didn't he end up using? I think did
Well,
weren't they also kind of weapons for
so
him?
the cool part about it, yes, I was gonna get to because Supergirl, Kara headbutts him and she gets her all the little
Things
piercings
stuck to
impaled
her.
into her forehead. Yeah, so at least it had some kind of practical use, I guess you want to say. But overall, I thought it was pretty cool. But I would say the music in the movie was so uninspired, dude. This movie had no identity, no theme. And then some of the music choices, like the rock music and stuff, like oh, terrible. You know me, man. You put rock music, especially bad rock music in film. Oh, I don't like that. This movie had the music was non-existent. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. There's no theme, nothing to connect when you hear it. Oh, that's Supergirl's theme. It's just music that James Gunn likes, and that shit pisses me off so much with this guy. And you know his hands were all over that part of the production. I know it for a fact. So I don't know. Overall though, those gripes aside, I thought I was gonna hate it because how everyone kept talking about the movie. But I think the storyline, while basic, I think it was simple enough to work for an introduction of a character. And I do like how they kind of splice like her origin within the movie itself. So you got a little background on her and Crypto. Everything
Yes.
when the stuff from Krypton was some of my favorite parts of the movie because it was serious. And then like with the when the kryptonite was discovered and the radiation was killing everybody slowly, I like that. That I wasn't expecting that little thread of a storyline. I think that was really strong, and I wish the movie had more of that. To be honest with you, but I'm glad it was there. It gave a lot of weight and a lot of emotional tug to the film that where it was needed. Because Carol honestly wasn't really likable until you got to those parts of the film, and then you understood her plight and why she is the way she is, and maybe that would tell you why she likes to go out and drink. I mean, I don't blame her for wanting to go out and drink, but at the same time, though, it kept pissing me off how many times she got like, caught or poisoned or subdued. And I swear to God, but she was when she said to that girl Ruthie, like stay here for like the seventh time. I'm like, stay here,
How many
Jesus Christ.
times?
We know that
Yeah,
girl's not gonna stay there.
I know, I know.
Oh my God, that was pissing me off. But overall, I quite enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie.
All right. So while because I was
Yeah,
looking
comment.
and going through, yeah, go ahead and hit those real quick.
Supergirl is slowly becoming one of my favorite superheroes, aside from her being Superman's cousin, which I love him. So it's a win for me. And Selena adds, the movie was worth the watch. I really enjoyed it. Adam, Supergirl kicked ass. As a character, she did. I like the way they portrayed her flight. I think was better than Superman, in my opinion. I don't know
Yeah,
why. It looked like the peel like the front shots. Not that
they I think
not that Superman was bad. I think it was used better here. Is what I'm
it
saying.
was an improvement. It was
Yeah,
definitely an improvement.
yeah.
Listen, for me, same thing. This was a fun movie. Sorry, I got a cough.
And the humor
Apologies.
was good. A lot of the humor landed for me, to be honest with you.
Yeah, yeah. Considering the other one they had humor, but it sometimes didn't land right. But for me, this one it was fun. As I said, I'm going to do the same as you. I'll go over the negatives. I actually collected the Supergirl comics once I went back into it. I want to say that right before the new 52 had happened, I maybe did not have of the that year's Supergirl series. I
Mhm.
might not have had issues 1 through 4.
Mm-hmm.
But once when I started, I went back and was able to find them. She has so many other characters in, that they created for her that they could use. I get somewhat using the Woman of Tomorrow comic book, but it was a little bit different than compared to the regular storylines that she had in her own ongoing series. And in her ongoing, yeah, her whole thing is she doesn't want to be like Clark. She wants to find her own identity. When she shows up, Clark is an adult. Her what had happened was hers was stuck underwater for like years before it was found, and then they were able to find her, and she basically came here as a teenager, and now Clark's in his 30s. So it was a contrast because she
Mm-hmm.
was originally sent to Earth to be Cal's basically caregiver because she was older than him already on Krypton. So using the Woman of Tomorrow storyline, I was the same with you. I'm glad we didn't get the origin right at the beginning, the whole story. When they got to her city, again, it's been so long. I went to Adam, oh, it's Candor. And then they go Argo.
Yes.
I'm like, Argo.
I noticed that. Yeah.
Candor. And I'm like, wait, is Candor, is that then Power Girl? And I think Candor is Power Girl, is where she's from.
Okay, I'll look it up. Good.
Yeah,
I'm
I know. I
curious.
wanted because they had done a series where the Huntress and Power Girl were like almost like they were like Flame Bird and Night something. Um but I like that she gave it there in the middle. What was great about the movie that it was not basically done in, you know, the story wasn't, a week, a month with all these events being
Mm-hmm.
brought in. Okay, I will say I too got, the whole damn it, and it went his name, the name movie, it went out of my head.
With
The Keanu Reeves movies where they killed his dog.
John Wick.
Yes, it was kind of John Wick because
I know they got
Kara did not want to get involved until
yeah.
Crypto got shot, and because they were in a planet. What I did like about this is you have to understand Superman and Kara when they're in the yellow sun, they're invincible.
Yeah, keep
So
talking. I'm here.
if they want to have a drink, they're not going to feel it. If when they get in a fight, unless they're against somebody really really super strong, they're not going to feel it. So by going into a universe that has a red sun that basically makes them kind of normal, they still have like their ability to fight, but they're not super strong. And it's not that they made her a drunk. She just wanted to feel something. She is now, trying to start a life on Earth, even though Cal's is different and she's nothing like him, but she's still a teenager.
Yep.
She's not in her 30s. And it's got to be a little bit weird when your cousin was an infant and now they're double your age. And literally you are thinking, bro, I was born before you. Just because physically and everything right now on Earth years,
Yeah.
I'm actually I'm older than you. You shouldn't be telling me what to do. I'm the older cousin here. You can't tell me what to do. But I did like that the movie itself was, I want to say, I think 72 hours. Maybe just it was a short window. You know what? You had maybe 1.5 days, and then Crypto gets shot, and now she's got 72 hours to get the antidote.
3 days,
Yeah,
right?
three
About
days.
3 days. Yeah.
Yeah, that's 72 hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I like that it was just a couple days as far as making this whole entire like drag it out for like a storyline that
Yeah.
involved a long amount of time.
How convenient though that my man had the antidote just on him like that. But let me look up these comments real quick.
Yep.
Is there absolute bizarro? I read the Supergirl movie bombed so bad they figured about Sydney Sweeney for Power Girl. The movie did bomb. Sydney Sweeney was already Spider Woman, and that didn't help that movie, unfortunately. So,
No.
there is no absolute bizarro yet, but he's coming. One also, he's coming. Uh, I also think those memes comparing the Supergirl to the feral child in Mad Max is awful. Yeah, that was fucked up.
So no, here's the like. Okay, listen. Not every single, and not because you mentioned Sydney, by the way. Not every single character is gotta fucking be drop dead gorgeous. Honestly, it's okay, to have somebody who is not what everybody else looks like. Why do you want to look like what everybody else looks like?
Yeah.
I mean, you want somebody to be a little bit different,
Hmm.
and
She's got a lot of
that's
personality.
yeah, that's shit. I thought
That's
it was
what that's
shitty.
that's what I look for more.
Yeah,
You could be a bombshell, but if you got no personality and you just no charisma, that shit ain't gonna work.
yeah, it's I thought that what they were doing, and here's another thing is that I will say, so I know that it was something that had happened post COVID, that a lot of the studios were dropping things on streaming. I strongly feel that this would have been one of those movies, and I think some of the studios, if you're not feeling 100% sure about your movie, right, then still drop it in the theater. The ones who are going to want to see it are going to go.
Yeah.
You actually, the ones that are going to go were the ones who were originally going to go. We're going to go see it. Get that. Drop it either on that the same day that it drops. Drop it if you want to. If you want to be a cash cow, then also have it available to watch at home.
One,
And
yeah,
or
I agree
if
with
it
you.
because it's going to be HBO Max, you also drop on HBO Max.
Hmm.
You make your revenue no matter what.
Hmm.
This is why Amazon found that Masters Universe for them is not going to be a flop. They're holding out now because nobody went to the theater to go see it. Now they're holding out on Prime for everyone to sit there and watch and wait.
That's gonna be one of those movies once it hits streaming, watch the popularity
Yes.
continue to. It's already popular now within the niche circle, but now it's really gonna reach the mainstream audiences once they see how fun the movie was.
Yeah.
Um,
And but
oh man, them glasses so big it reflect. It reflective. You should watch it live. You will see with them out for the homies. Yeah, I got you, bro. I'll bring them next time. I'll bring them next time.
I do like
And
those. You didn't wear those? Are those new?
yeah, I wore them a couple times on here.
Oh, did you?
Selena V. If I ever get a dog, I'm going to name it Crypto with a K. With a K. One thing I will say though, bro, like whenever I hear Seth Rogen in anything now, it just completely takes me out of it,
It
bro.
did. Hold on. It did for a second. I'm like, is that Seth Rogen?
Yeah, it's
So
just
that was.
come on.
Yeah, I mean, he was just a voice,
No, I
and
like the character, but dude,
yeah, I know. I know.
like
Hold on. Wait,
when
wait.
you when he
Who did
was
you really hear though?
Donkey
Invincible.
Kong or
No.
fucking
Oh
oh
no.
yeah yeah
I
Alan.
fucking heard Alan.
But alright, yeah, he's good as Alan, but still, but everything, even when he's Donkey Kong, I see fucking, I see Seth Rogen. I don't see the characters. I don't know.
I mean, well, and think
I don't
again.
hate Seth Rogen, but
What
it's
what
just
did
it's
they made him look
insufferable at
like?
this point, bro.
What did they make him look like though? He wasn't attractive.
And the little guy, he had the loud voice, and the other guy had the little squeaky.
I should have called in today.
Yeah, it was funny when he mentioned he saw his balls or some shit. What up, Jr? Yo, do you think
JR.
having a villain like Bizarro would have been better for Supergirl?
Mm-mm.
I think Bizarro should. I think he should debut in a Superman movie first.
Yeah, for sure.
But
And
again,
they
I don't. Yeah.
it's just I want to say I think it's just recently they finally created a Bizarro Supergirl. So I
Mhm.
would I want to say within the last couple years that I read somewhere that that character has just got introduced. So it might
Yeah.
have people might because the thing is it's kind of what Superman fought in Superman. So you would
Yeah.
have ended up repeat doing Supergirl. Oh, so Supergirl fought basically another version of herself.
Mhm.
And oh my God, sorry, Jared, but if they would have gone that way, if the movie was already crucified, basically making Supergirl fighting Supergirl, the same way Superman fought Superman, the movie probably would have been taken out and like torched like Frankenstein. But
Frankenstein.
real quick though, while you're watching, if you have not yet, make sure to hit like on the episode. And if you have not subscribed yet, because I know the episode is new, hit that subscribe. We're gonna continue on with the Supergirl. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I think that this is one of those that it should have just been maybe done the way they did post COVID and done it where it's dropped on the theater and digital, so that way people can go home. Because I also feel this because it's a trend that a lot of female led superhero movies don't get as many people going, and it
No,
makes no sense because
no.
listen, I like both, so I figure if anything, men would flock. And don't say that Millie is, you had many other movies. Trust me. You had a movie with Florence Pugh and Scarlett Johansson, and not that many people flocked. You,
Oh,
if
that was during COVID too. That was Black
right,
Widow.
but
You mean?
yeah, but
Yeah, that was
this
like
still,
that didn't come out in theater.
but I'm saying, but
Yeah.
you still,
But I know what
you
you mean. I know
still,
what you mean. Yeah.
we're men. You should want to go see a superhero movie with a woman. So really, it's only the guys. I'm just saying, just want to point that out. You guys won't go see a movie that's it's all women, so you can't. Y'all got to answer that one for
Yeah, I
me.
mean Captain Marvel Bond, both of them Marvel. Oh,
The
no, the first one,
Marvels,
all right, the Marvels Bond. The first one did decent. That's the reason why they made a sequel. But the Marvels bombed hard. That movie was the villain in that movie was terrible. But I don't know. They fucked up with that movie, in my opinion. It has some good scenes in it, but yeah,
but and
if the villain sucks, I'm not interested. You
and
need to
that's
have a good
yeah,
antagonist. That
yeah.
I don't. That character was so boring, and that's the problem with Supergirl. Not that Krem was bad, because again, as a despicable villain, you wanted to see him get taken down. It's just I don't know, like I think the movie could have used I don't want to say another villain because I don't like to, you know, I don't know.
Actually,
I
the
I
second
think
best villain was the pirates that she fought.
yeah, yeah. And we didn't talk about
The
this yet. Hold on. Before we get into that,
we didn't talk
the
about Lobo.
there you go. That's what I was gonna say. We didn't touch upon Lobo. How are you a Lobo guy? I just started reading his latest book. What do you feel about the way Jason
All right.
Momoa portrayed him? Was it accurate to you?
If
The
if
main man.
if I were to pick someone to have played Lobo, I think since he got Aquaman, everybody's like, I would have picked Jason over Lobo years ago. He's got the height,
He's
he's
perfect
got
for
the
Lobo. Yeah,
charisma,
yeah.
he's got the look. When you see some videos and you see Jason just hanging out with people and being funny, like he's a very personable, like Lobo's got that, charisma. Like Lobo can't fucking die.
Mhm.
Like this is a great character. So when he showed up, eh, everybody in the theater was like, yeah. And I'm like, I'm gonna say half of you guys are only cheering because it's Jason that just showed up on the screen,
My girlfriend did
and not
that
that
when she
it's
saw.
Lobo.
She goes, "Oh my God, it's Jason!"
Yeah, not that it's Lobo, but they were cheering that it's Jason. I thought
Halfway
he
through
was
the
great.
movie,
I
she asked
thought
me,
how
"What's his name?" I said, "That's Lobo."
I thought how he was used and done was great. That's how the Lobo character is. He yes,
He don't get
he
along with people,
he
but
doesn't.
he's not evil either, which I like how they
No, he's a
portrayed it. Yeah,
bounty hunter. He's
yeah,
he's he's out, he's just out making money. Yes, he killed all of his people, making him the last. I want to say, Caesarians. It's hard to remember all the races. It starts with a C. I want to say,
yeah. I mean,
but
he
yeah,
got
no,
everything.
I really liked him. I did like
The
him.
bike was cool.
Yeah, yeah.
He had the
What'd you
chain
think?
or the what? I like. No, I really enjoyed it. Whenever he came on screen, it added a lot to the film, especially considering like we only had the one villain and having Lobo around. And when he did show up, it wasn't like Supergirl went. I need your help. No, she was always there
No,
doing his.
she didn't
He had
even want his
no,
help.
he had his own job, his own
Yeah,
bounty to collect. That's all he wanted.
yeah.
Once he got the bounty, he's all right. I'm out. Like you know what I'm saying?
Mm-mm.
P Rockzilla. He should have been Lobo from the start. Yeah,
I agree.
I
Yeah. I mean,
agree.
he literally when like
Yeah,
there's some people, some actors you see, and especially when it comes to comic book collectors, they see an actor just all of a sudden come around, and you can visualize them as that person.
yeah.
Jason Momoa, like if I ever were to cast him on something in comics, it had always been Lobo for me.
Charisma for days,
What
man.
I liked about Aquaman was that we've talked about this before. This is another reason why we did this. We talked about this before. Is that he just gave he didn't give the blonde look. You know, everybody makes fun of Aquaman, but Aquaman's a pretty fucking dope character. But because of how his physical is and the way he made Aquaman cool. You know,
Yeah, he
but
did.
yeah, no, he should have been Lobo from the fucking get-go.
Yeah,
Like that, like
he
fucking
always wanted to
Snyder
play him
fucked
too.
this one up.
He always wanted to
Snyder's
play Lobo.
Snyder would have done much better having cast him as Lobo and put him, you know, through his movies than having him as Aquaman. But I still
Yeah,
liked him as Aquaman.
yeah. He was fun. He was a fun Aquaman. Again, yeah, Aquaman. I'm Arthur Curry. I was never a big Aquaman fan. I don't know what. I mean, I think it is what you said. His like his visual approach, his style, his appearance was so like just. I don't know, man. It
But
just
he's
never
super
drew me in,
strong.
bro. I
Listen, he's
know,
super strong.
I know.
Like, you know, there's a whole lot that the man can do. But yes, his little corny outfit. You know, he wore a gold top with green bottoms, and you know, spoke to fish.
Even the new design, when he had the long hair and the beard, and he had like there wasn't he had a trident for a hand?
He lost his hand. He lost his hand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Even that Aquaman never appealed to me.
It's not. It's
They
never
try to
been
make him a little
somebody.
edgier and cool, but it just I don't know what it is, man. And I mean,
But yet, people like Submariner. I mean, they're both almost the same exact thing. I just want to say. But notice Submariner has dark hair. You know, that little spike in the front. He's a little bit more, you know, like
but the Submariner
menacing
to me
looking.
has much more layers because he's a dick for one. He's an anti-hero, but he's also not like a villain. But he'll go to war with heroes if he believes in something that goes against his morals or what he believes in. So I like that about him. He's not just a cookie cutter character. Now I can't speak for Aquaman because I've never read his books, but the reason why Submariner, at least to me, works. There's no what other character can you say is like the Submariner? I mean, the man still longs for Reed Richards' wife to this day, bro.
Well,
Like, jeez.
and let's
What
not
an asshole. He's
even
an
though
asshole.
and we'll parlay it to what we're going to talk about next. Even though Apocalypse is the first mutant, as far as I think in comic
With,
book wise,
yeah,
Submariner was the first like
the
mutant
mutant. Yes, yes, yes.
on a comic book page.
Because
He was
wasn't he
the
from the
first one.
30s or some shit? He wasn't even Marvel. Atlas, right? That's where he debuted. One also, Lobo is setting up for a series like Punisher, but they're gonna produce them as volumes with a bunch of different stages and realities of his life. It's like a TV series,
So like
like a
Peacemaker.
Max series.
Yeah. I mean,
Peacemaker.
hey,
This
we're gonna have the Lanterns coming. I would not be surprised if they, you know, he again, they have something with doing Lobo. Lobo's a cool character. I did not like the new design that they gave him, where they made him younger, and it's no.
where you see
Lo-
that in the comics?
yeah, you
Yeah.
didn't know that. Yeah, they had. I don't want to post up the picture. I'll have you after we're done. I'll have you
Yeah,
look it
yeah.
up. Yeah,
I
no,
got you.
they had done a redesign, and he looked like John Kent. Like Jonathan, like yeah, no, literally, like I'm not kidding. Like he was not like this big imposing guy. You know, he
Yeah.
still had all his powers. However, it was terrible. It was like Lobo. Yeah, no, I really dug it. I was with everybody else in the theater, that was happy to see him there because he ended up like kind of making the movie. And I'm glad though that he stopped to help. You know, and here's the other part. They did pull a Snyder with the Supergirl at the ending, if you think about it. And because
Oh,
Superman,
she killed someone.
she killed.
I want
And
you to,
not
bro.
only did hold on, she not only killed, she didn't use her power to kill.
No, she
She used a
stabbed the
fucking
motherfucker.
weapon. She used a normal human, you know,
A sword, dude. When that scene happened, some dude a couple rows down busted out laughing so hard. He said this so loud. He was like, "She told her to walk away, and then she kills him." I'm like, Jesus Christ!
But her reaning was good though, is because
she did it
she's
for
right,
her, bro. She's right. That guy can't live. That guy's a monster.
If you kill somebody,
That dude's a
you live
monster.
with that no matter what.
And that
Like,
also
she-
separates her from Cal too.
Yes.
From Clark, you know.
Well, and
All that.
I did like that, and I sat there and I was like, was this James Gunn kind of going, I see you, Snyderverse. I'm gonna. I didn't do it with Superman, but Supergirl killed.
Careful, Psycho Joe. Starting to
Psycho.
flare and flip that pickle high. Azilla, he knows. Water after every cactus juice. So he's saying you're feeling nice, Joe. You're slurring.
Oh, I am
Well,
feeling
no,
pretty nice.
so
Hey,
Joe's. Hey, we get nice all the time. I love his character in this movie. Yeah, Selena loved Lobo. Yeah.
well, this was supposed to be different. He was supposed to be doing most of the talking. I was supposed to be sitting back. All right, so
Hey, you're the movie guy. What are you talking about, son?
I know, but we'll go now. We'll go into the
Ah.
animated. So,
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
all right, it's time for X-Men '97. We're not going to do the whole season. No, we're going to be
No, no,
talking
just the
about the
well, first four essentially.
the first four. But I did watch because Rick, right before we were going to do this, I was trying to binge the OG series. Ooh, there was a lot of episodes to watch. But I will
I
say the
couldn't do
last
it, man.
the last two episodes of the series, the way that it ended it, which actually in hindsight, it's almost really weird because it was good. The episode 9 was the descent, and that was Essex background
Mr.
becoming Mr.
Sinister?
Sinister. Yes, he was Jack the Ripper.
Yeah.
And you had the fact that he was married to a descendant of the Greys and a descendant of Professor X. Now I'm trying to enunciate right because of fucking one also.
He
Damn
keeps
it,
you on your
dude.
toes. He keeps you on your toes.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But I thought it's weird though because they give you this episode and give you this background with Xavier's also descendant, somebody who had worked with Essex, and you then get the graduation day, which is basically where Professor X is outed as a mutant by hold on. Damn it, meant to write
Was it
down his
Trask?
fucking first. No, Gyrick.
Gyrick. Henry Gyrick. Yeah.
Henry Gyrick. He was trying to do the containment law,
Yep.
and he ended up zapping Professor X, and they needed to get Lilandra to basically heal him.
Yep.
In the meantime, Magneto had been in Genosha, and now Wolverine, Cyclops, and Jean Grey go there for what would be their final battle, leaving everybody else behind, but then let them know that Professor X is dying. Jean finds out that turns out all the electro waves that we have in our heads, Magneto can also affect those, able to resuscitate Professor X for him to say goodbye to everybody before Lilandra shows up and takes him away. And then we got X-Men '97, which this is a fucking awesome, probably one of my favorite of the animated the Marvel animated universe that they do. I've watched all the other ones. Yes, the fact that they kept the original intro and
So
animation is
smart. They
because you're
smartest
watching this,
decision.
you're still watching the fucking series.
Yep.
That was the best thing they could have done. It has made a bunch of 50-year-olds, 40-year-olds, and 30-year-olds be in their teens again watching this, and it almost feels as if you just continued on from where you left off.
Yeah. We're going
Yes,
back to the 90s.
the animations is awesome,
So good,
obviously.
man. It's way better than I thought they would have put the time and effort into it. But man, this animation is good, and it still
Oh,
has like that 90s quality to
it
it.
does.
It's
It
not
really
overly animated. It still feels like a 90s cartoon, but it's so much more detailed and bold, and the shadows they use for it, the everything just makes it pop. Oh, it's so good.
well, and I will say that the only difference is that this is crisper. When you
Hmm.
rewatch the older one, because it's older. I mean, unless once somebody eventually will go in there and do whatever graphic work needs to be done to make it more HD, but the fucking series, the first season kicked ass. Um, I again when I would I fucking when Genosha happened, I messaged you and I'm like, dude, I'm fucking crying right now watching the X-Men. You were like, Genosha? Yeah, I'm like, yes. So the series has been like one of the best of the animated. I love that the X-Men are getting the love that they should have gotten. I know that for a little while there, Marvel had strayed away from them only because they didn't have all the rights with the whole Sony thing. And so they try to focus on the Inhumans, creating the whole Inhumans versus the X-Men to try to elevate the Inhumans. It didn't work. You can't take down the fucking X-Men, especially us 90s. And by saying 90s,
And
it's
it was
because,
a terrible show at that.
yeah,
God,
yes.
that show sucked.
But yeah, so we'll get into season 2. Rick, I gotta run real quick. But
Where you going, bro? What happened?
be quick. Um
What the fuck? How's you gonna leave me here by
Oh,
myself?
dude, I see you. I see you with P Rock. He leaves you. I'm not gonna leave you as long as P Rock leaves you. I'll put it that way. So yes, why don't you go ahead? Like you could start with episode 1. I'll be back before then.
Ooh, I'll wait for you.
Or talk about the X-Men. You can't just disappear and sit here.
No, I'm not gonna disappear. When I mean wait for, yes, I'm not gonna. I'll wait for you to discuss
Are
the.
you anything that you
So
remember for the old one and blah blah
yeah,
blah?
no, I got you. No, yeah, I'll wait for you. So yeah, interesting enough, um, I started to go back and watch the original X-Men. I couldn't catch up in time, but the first thing I noticed was the animation. It just completely blew my mind when I saw how much better it was. And I don't remember even the first season being that good. Maybe it's just me misremembering, but it was a really great series. It's I love how it technically starts off right where it left off, where all of the heroes get blasted into different eras. We got two sets of groups. One goes back into the past, one into the future. I think that was handled really well, and I do like the cast of characters they chose to put them in their certain areas. Like we get that feral Wolverine, for example, without the adamantium, with the long hair. Looks freaking cool as hell. I'm gonna time this. Yeah. Oh, P Rock, there you go. Time it. P Rock heard it. P Rock, he saw that. He saw it. Selena's laughing. Yeah. No, Joe's pretty quick. When Joe goes to do whatever he does, he's normally quick. But P Rock, I hope you are timing him. So let's see. I guarantee you, Joe's listening right now too, because he's got speakers all over his house, including in the bathroom. So I guarantee you, he's listening right now. So, so let's see what's up with that. But yeah, so I really do. I love the fact that we got a lot of Cable too. Cable is such a great character, especially for these storylines like this. He is like that man. One thing with Cable though, he doesn't always work in the comic books because all of his stories feel very similar. He's always going through time and trying to fix shit, and then blah blah blah. You know. What up, Joe?
P
Yo,
Rock.
P Rod, what's that time?
Yeah.
P Rod.
So P Rock. Yeah. No. P Rock. I wasn't going what P Rock was gonna go do. Trust me, I looked around and see if I can do this while I was here.
Oh, you blasted a dookie real quick.
No,
Oh,
not
you're quick.
that.
I
Not
forgot
that.
you.
No, not that. Shit, not that.
All right.
Oh
I like
yeah.
that they kept the original intro.
Yeah. Oh, like because again, it's when I first saw the first episode, dude. When that song came on, you got goosebumps. You were like, all of a sudden, you're like,
Hell
you
yeah.
you literally you transported. You went back in time to your. Did he fix you? When did you fix your thing?
It fell
Ah,
again. It fell
that's all
again.
right.
So
It's all right.
whatever. These
It's
things they
the
don't
it's
fall.
no wait.
It picks now to do this shit. I swear to God, bro.
It's the spirit of JR. No, I'm
It
just kidding,
is.
JR.
It's something. These motherfuckers. I mean, the ones that fall that are falling now never fall until today.
All right,
Let's talk about episode 1. Let's go.
all right. So with now, what I liked is that they by the way, even though Rick said I am a DC, there is one collection of Marvel that I did do. As far as me and P Rock and the villain, was the Marvel mutant person. I collected all the mutant books: X-Men, X Factor, New Mutants, X Force. It was my books that they read. Granted, this is the best part of being siblings because you didn't have to duplicate the same books. But I am the resident mutant person on this. So, as far as Marvel, I can attest a little bit better on the mutants than my two siblings can. And they basically did Age of Apocalypse. storyline, going back in time with that Nathan. And I fucking I love that it's concentrating on what is the X-Men's greatest foe, who is the first mutant, Apocalypse, and basically seeing if they can take him down and or change the course
Mm-hmm.
of the future for not just mutants but for the human race. And I will tell you right now, I will say I'm pissed on this. I knew that Ascani was fucking Rachel Summers.
Rachel Summers. Why are
So
you
fucking
pissed?
because she didn't tell them.
Oh, you mean within the story you're pissed?
Yeah, and it sucks because part of Rachel's thing was never being accepted. You know, like Cable, even when Cable showed up, they were like, "Oh well,
I think
y'all
she's
gonna
part.
accept
I
him."
don't think Ascani didn't say who she was because I think they had a lot on their plate with Cable as it was. And if she would have said I'm your daughter, they probably wouldn't have even left. You know, who knows? Who knows? Maybe I mean, I'm not saying they wouldn't. Maybe they would still leave, but that's what was going through her mind. Like, all right, they're worrying about too much. I don't want to add to this. I mean, that's
Well,
how I took it.
and what I like that basically Gene and Scott were showing Nathan how to use his power because he's got the techno organic
That's
virus.
just constantly ripping his body apart. But yeah, his
And now they're showing him that you can, because he is the son of one of those powerful uh telekinetics, right? And what did they say? It's one of the T's.
what telekinesis?
Yeah, is it one of her powers that it's so that because he is her son,
Yeah, yeah,
it's so strong that he should be able to control the virus itself, which is
yeah.
why he was able to do that.
That's why, yeah, the virus is constantly being held back because of his power. Yeah, his it's like a dormant, not dormant. What's that word? God, passive. There you go.
Yeah.
It's his powers are passive, and it's constantly fucking. It's like Deadpool, where his mutant healing factor is constantly healing the cancer over and over because he's got cancer. But if it wasn't for his healing powers, he would have been dead. So
Oh yeah, he
Cable,
would.
same thing. Cable's got that virus, and his powers are keeping him alive too. So that's pretty crazy. I like in the comic books too. They really go in depth of what that shit does to Cable, like in graphic detail. I didn't even realize that he's pretty fucked up, man.
Yeah, and listen, I fucking love the Cable character. I had the issue where he got introduced. When the New Mutants eventually start becoming X Force, um, becoming him being part of the Jean Grey Summers bloodline because you didn't know that at first.
Yeah.
That's where he became one of my favorite. Though Liefeld, let's not forget that Liefeld gave Cable the biggest body and the tiniest little feet.
That's because he can't draw feet, man.
Oh man. Sorry, Liefeld. You created some great characters, but those feet on those people. Um but yeah, so no, that's the first episode dealt with basically Nathan learning his powers.
And then
And then
he got his arm too. What was that computer? What's the computer name? That's
Mother.
Mother.
No.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Mother.
So now he has. That's pretty cool how they did
Which
that.
was, and the thing is that technology, somebody was going to be able to get that for him, or basically we're going to inherit that. They were waiting for him, and it was Nathan. So then they end up basically defeating Apocalypse, and he realizes, well, I got to go back to the 90s to stop these X-Men. And he disappears because they're trying to say in here that Apocalypse needs a human host or a body host for him to take over. So then you get to episode 2. And so hold on. I got to fill up my beer here. So it's funny because on if this is your first time watching us here and you never saw us before, we're also part of Horror Fiend TV. And on there, during 3 Corners of Horror, Rick had asked me, dude, did you see this week's X-Men yet? I'm like, no, I haven't seen it yet. Oh, like why is he so? When episode 2 started and it was fucking X-Force, I was like, oh my God. Like, again.
Speaking of X-Force and the shoulder pads.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, when episode 2 came, I swear to you, right? the first thing I noticed, I was like, oh, there's no intro. They only gave it for the first episode, so we're not gonna get the intro anymore. What happened? And then when Jubilee asked Cable, like 15 minutes in, it felt like, so what do we call ourselves? And all of a sudden, X Force.
Oh,
Oh shit!
as soon as they popped up, I'm like,
Ah,
X
and
Force.
they picked a hell of a team. I love
I
Psylocke.
did like,
Oh,
yeah.
bro. And this is it Quanon or Betsy Braddock? God dang it.
So I want to say that I think it's still Quanon in this one. I don't know if they've done it with it being separated, to be honest with you. I don't know if they did that. I don't know if they did that in the animated series. So I think it is Psylocke because she still has, if you listen to when she talks, her accent is still a little bit British in there. So when he disappears, it throws me off. So while he's looking at that, I fucking geeked the fuck out because I was a huge X Force fucking fan.
I thought of you, bro. That's why I said, yo,
Dude,
did you watch it yet? And you're like, no. I'm like,
when
oh, bro, don't look at spoilers.
so I will tell you right now, when I collected comic books, I had been collecting. Yes, I'm a big DC fan, but out of any kind of comic book that I was the biggest fan of and the one that I collected, anything that came out, it had been the X-Men, the mutants. There is a familiarity that I can feel as far as how the characters are. So I had always been drawn to them, like the Justice League was, especially Justice League International, once they became a different, everybody different personalities. That's what the X-Men were. So when the New Mutants, I started collecting them. I actually preferred the New Mutants over the X-Men. Everybody loved X-Men more, but the New Mutants were the new generation. And then once it started, they introduced Cable, and he started turning the New Mutants into what would become X-Force. That was my favorite fucking team
Yeah,
because he was
that was pure
he
90s right
took
there. Yeah,
he
that's a
took he
shift. Yeah.
took Xavier's dream and
Mhm.
said, "We're still following this. However, we're gonna have to fucking kick ass. We're gonna have to kick ass. You know what? I'm not Professor X. You might have to use your powers to kill someone to actually stop them because that's what we're here to
Mhm.
do." And X Force was one of the, thanks to Liefeld, and I cannot remember the writer at the time right
It
now.
wasn't Fabian on Nessencia or some shit like that?
No, I think
It wasn't
Nacencia was
him?
working on X Factor at the
No,
time.
at the
Was he?
time,
Mm-hmm.
wasn't Peter David what
No,
doing X Factor?
Fabian Nacencia was on X Factor at the time.
Oh,
Yeah. But so seeing fucking X Force, I'm already a child as I watch X-Men 97. But now I get X Force, and not just that, but you also give us X Factor because you
that's
got the
right.
the
Jesus, I
introduction
even
of X
forgot X
Factor
Factor was in it.
with
I mean,
Havoc,
they didn't
Multiple
do anything
Man.
though. They fought, but
They didn't,
they
but
had no lines. They barely only Polaris and Havoc talked. And
but
Strong Guy said what a couple things.
their characters, because the whole thing X Factor was used exactly how it was done in the comics,
Hmm.
where Val Cooper had helped them in order for the government to work with them, and they
Now,
created X Factor.
okay,
As far as, yes, that's how X Factor came to be. It was a government subsidized version of the
but
X-Men.
but when you say Val Cooper, now you're talking about
Wait,
the
did I say the
original
wrong girl?
lineup. No. Val Cooper's right.
Yep.
But do you mean the original lineup when it had the original X-Men, like Cyclops, Iceman, for example, that X
In the
Factor, or the X Factor that we have in the '97 series?
in Val Cooper was also involved in the comics.
But what I'm saying is, which
No,
team are you referring to that she started?
in
The
the way,
Cyclops team?
no, the Havoc team.
All right, there you go. That's why. Because remember when it first
The
started, it was the original X-Men team
yes.
first.
I'm sorry. Yes, you're
Yeah,
right. The original X Factor was Beast, Angel,
yeah.
Jean
Jean,
Grey, and
Scott, yeah.
Cyclops. But when it then was Havoc as the leader with Polaris, Strong
Multiple
Guy, Multiple Man,
Man.
and actually Wolfsbane was part of it also.
Yep, Wolfsbane. Yeah, yes, she was.
So having you that episode kind of gave the X-Men nerds the two other X-Men teams that were around. So, and they still haven't really hit upon, Polaris and her connections. Actually, they did. Never mind.
Polaris.
Yeah, skip that. But still
Hey, we
seeing
live,
both those
pal.
teams. I know. Seeing both those teams on there was pretty awesome.
A good
And
fight too. Yeah,
I will
great fight.
also say that I saw online that some people didn't like the Jubilee part.
I love the Jubilee part.
Jubilee has been trained
They
for
finally
years
give her something to do that's meaningful.
but I know,
not just
but
being like
she's
the person
gone
that gets
on
kidnapped.
Gambit, Wolverine,
Mm-hmm.
Beast. I'm trying to think of all the people who are physical, not the ones with powers. The ones that have to physically fight, like actually fight, have brought her on. She has learned to fight from some of the best. So
She's
why
not a
would
kid no
she not
more.
be
She's
able to
not
take these people
exactly. Yeah.
down? Why would she not be able? Oh, when she did a move, that's Gambit. Yes, she sat there and watched Gambit
It
go.
makes sense.
It took this person down. All right, let me see if I can do this. Oh, that worked. Because if you notice, every single time she took people down, she was excited because she probably wasn't sure she was going to be able to do this herself.
Bro,
fucking love that
even
Jubilee
in the
got
books, they haven't done her that justice before. She single-handedly
not until she became a vampire.
Yeah, that was in the 2000s, right? What book was that? What was the name of that series? I have that series too.
That's when they changed her and her powers a little bit. But as far as showing,
that's when they had that one mutant who blew up and his blood, his blood went all over all these people that were there, and Jubilee just happened to be there, and she got the blood on her. That's what infected her essentially.
But I mean, I thought, and that everybody's like, oh well, Boom Boom was on skates, guys. Well, she's not in here. So how about the fact that you don't pick up that the writer and artist threw in a nod to a character? Don't say that, oh well, she doesn't do that. Well, they haven't put the character in there, or it's not mainstream. It was a little nod to the character. Appreciate sometimes what some of the writers and artists put in, because they realize that there's more that they can do in there, but let's put this for the character. So I thought that she fucking kicked ass on that.
That was good. That was great. And then I think what I love too, with that one episode, it displayed the juxtaposition between the X-Force team and the X-Men team. Like you said, they're completely different. X-Force is like by any means necessary. It's a show of force, man.
Cable goes. Do you guys forget the he goes, do you guys forget the damn it, what's the word for incognito? Unanimous? No.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Yeah, that's their team is supposed to be this, but now because of their antics, they're not. He said it in the fucking episode, which is the worst part.
I know that word because you forgot it. You made me forget it now.
But he inconspicuous or whatever the word is, something like that. He's like, we're supposed to be this. This is not it, But yeah, no.
But I did enjoy it too when I think the war when they killed him. I'm assuming, right? They fucked him.
Oh
up.
Yeah, he shot him.
And I love the fact that Jubilee was not for it, and that shows that she don't belong in that team, man.
Hold on, that was also
like that contrast.
That was also Boom Boom in the X-Force. Like Boom Boom.
That was her
Boom.
role.
Yeah, Tabitha was a little bit more of the heart, like trying to let them know we shouldn't cross some boundaries.
She popped bubble gum too, didn't she? Boom.
Yeah, she did. Yeah. All right, so then we've got. All right, make sure. Hold on, because again, Rick threw it on me that. So then in episode 2, Nathan sends the X-Men back to their timeline. And then we're going to have 3 and 4 are the Rise of Apocalypse.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So 3 and 4 are the Rise of Apocalypse. At this point, we find out what the other team, because Ascani had basically was the one that saved the X-Men when they were going to die on the asteroid. Yeah, the asteroid, right? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm nodding.
All right, I know you're saying I know, but I don't know. Sometimes some people nod. All right, sometimes you have to verbalize it because you could be thinking it and you get be
Joe!
but so Ascani had sent them through different
Yeah.
times, and at this point, Magneto had become a mentor to Noor, who is going to become Apocalypse. And they are trying to basically actually Magneto is using Charles Xavier's method in the hopes of maybe he
I
can
love
change.
that. So good.
How did nobody pick up like the fact that Magneto would everybody's like, Magneto, you're doing this wrong, dude. Like he should have gone.
It almost worked. It's not his fault it didn't work.
I know, but he should have gone. I'm literally doing what you've like. What the fuck, guys?
You know what I love? I love how Bishop was the only one not having it. Bishop was like, I just want to get the fuck out of here. Let's get this going.
Well, he's a time traveler, and the thing is, because Bishop found out, because when
jockey, what's he doing?
when he went back in time, they were successful, but they still affected the future in a negative way. So
yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
But yeah, so and then you also get the introduction of a Kang variant. This is where this would have been connected into the whole had it all kept going with everything in Marvel, where it would have been Kang. So it shows that whoever was coming up with this show was timing this perfectly, that they would have gone in with a timeline of, Kang the Conqueror be affecting even the X-Men and Apocalypse. Dude, it was
I love
the
fact that when the shit hit the fan, I love how Kang just fucking
he goes, I'm out.
And
then puts his regular face.
He fucking takes off his mama top outfit. He puts on his helmet. And he's like, "Peace, homie."
I'm glad you fucking do it. I was dying. Because all Kang's like, all right, I'm not Rama. I'm actually Kang. I'm out. I'm getting in my car. You're gonna find out the difference. I'm out though. This was awesome because it's funny because when you had asked me if I had watched these yet, because I think the first 3 episodes dropped, and then the 4th one was dropped separately. It would be weekly after that. If you don't have Disney
they did
Plus,
3, right? First, then the 4th, yeah.
But it was just because you were like, we've always kind of wondered what Apocalypse's power is. I mean, if you think of, we know he's strong, so it shows that obviously he's got superhuman strength. He's invulnerable.
He took all the X-Men down pretty much. I mean, the fucking Xavier was a non-factor to him.
Everybody. I mean,
I love how strong they made him. It just makes sense. It makes sense because he's gonna be they want him. So it's a Celestial essentially that
was a Celestial.
Him,
yeah.
Again, they were tying it back to. I don't think were the Celestials involved in Apocalypse's actual origin in the comics too. I don't.
Not that I can recall.
I don't. It's been a while.
Which would tie him to the Eternals.
Yeah.
That I think, like I said, I think maybe. Oh damn! Did you guys listen, guys? All you writers, you're probably not really listening right now. I am a little buzzed. I'm just gonna throw it out, but some of you guys probably all talked and had this whole grand scheme planned, and things got fucked up. Congrats for the people who kept this one going, because it's pretty cool. Because when you saw it was a Celestial, you are seeing just how vast the X-Men are actually involved.
Once I saw those designs, I'm like, Celestials? Yeah. What?
And the voice. It sounds like a god.
Yeah.
Sounds like a god.
And seeing like his transformation from nerd to fucking Apocalypse. And bro, when he kills Magneto in front of Xavier.
Oh my god.
Xavier was cussing him out. And then Xavier, I thought he was gonna kill Xavier. I swear to you, I was like, they're gonna kill Xavier too. They're gonna kill him. Because Xavier now in the comics is non-existent essentially. So I'm like, all right, I can see how they'll probably get rid of him in here. But when Apocalypse just walked by him, and what did he say? Only a coward
steps on an ant.
Only a coward. Something
steps on a defenseless ant.
But whatever that line was, as he's walking,
because the foot was huge that he could have crushed him.
And there was the analogy was.
Well, and think about it though, Magneto
Xavier was the ant in that situation.
Bro. Yeah, Magneto dying, like he's only dying in the kind of present time. Yeah. It's not the past time. I've been
Do
like,
you think they're gonna bring Onslaught? Is that why they did
yeah,
that? You think? Yeah.
dude. Why? This is why we did this show, by the way.
I thought
I'm
about
in
you.
my
Like,
head going to Onslaught is coming,
yeah,
and
it makes sense.
Sherman, my friend George, hope if he watches the episode, we
Yeah.
were messaging back and forth. I was like, dude, I'm gonna bring this up because I think Onslaught is coming. I think it's just setting up for it. You know, I want to say I think
The
we're
bad
doing this
guys.
again.
I'm sorry. One thing I was
Say
gonna
no.
say. What I loved about the fourth episode too is the bad guys won essentially.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. That was so fucking cool.
I mean, we'll be doing this again in about 2 weeks.
Hmm.
We're
Did
again.
you watch the extra credit scene by the way?
Yes, I was gonna ask you.
I didn't. I saw it. I saw it. I saw
Oh,
it. No, I seen it after the fact on Twitter.
so
But
it reminded me of the during
the G-
the X-Men
yeah,
series
because
that you
Jim Lee
had
has that famous cover with Black Widow,
oh
Captain America,
yes,
and
yes,
Logan. Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
Same outfits. I remember.
That's literally the
Yeah.
fucking when I saw because I have fast forwarded through some of them. They do put post credit scenes.
I
So
never
when
knew
I
that.
saw
I
that,
never knew that.
oh
I never knew they
yeah, no,
did that.
now you know
Now I gotta
they
now I
have
gotta
done it.
stick around. My luck. By the way, did Supergirl have any post credit scenes? I left
No,
my
no,
seat
they
once.
did
All
not.
right,
They
thank
did
God.
not. You did not have to have no. There's no post credit on that one.
But
But yeah, so
yeah.
the post credit it hints into another one of these storylines because this is I want to say, damn it.
What I don't like though, while you think about that, Natasha, no Russian accent. They gave her the Scarlett Johansson voice, man. God damn.
So you know what? What I'm gonna
Fuck, I hate when they do that shit.
my little complaint is stupid. My little complaint on X-Men '97 is that the old Rogue had a much more Cajun
It's the
or like
same
Southern.
actress.
Is it really? Why does she
Yes.
sound different?
I don't. But
What
she's
is she
older now,
doing?
brother.
Is
She's
it,
older now.
dude? What is she doing? It doesn't sound like it. Just I don't know. Like I was like sitting there
I
going,
told you before. Me and P Rock actually met her at Comic Con, just walking the. She was walking just the aisles, and we're like, "Hey, what's
I
going
forgot what I was
on?"
looking up.
We were chatting with her for a minute, man, and that was before X-Men '97 was even out. So that was pretty damn cool, man.
But yeah, I want to say we'll be back. I think in 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, so we're gonna be talking about.
Finally, the
There you
zoo,
go. Joe gets to read it
absolute
finally.
Batman. I've been
If
finally
y'all don't
fucking.
know, Batman is Joe's favorite character, and I can't wait for him to get
I will.
into
I will.
absolute
I will say
Batman.
this much: when Batman versus Superman came out, so many people sat there and said, "How the fuck is Batman going to beat Superman?" You don't fucking know Batman.
He
Then
has a plan for
you don't know
everyone,
Batman.
including
Batman,
himself.
including himself, and actually that was part of the. Oh, wait, there was something that. Damn it, something brainwashed in the comics. Oh, Amanda Waller at the end of Absolute Power. They did to her what Zatanna had done to Batman for Batman to realize that Zatanna had done something to his mind and him
Oh
distrust the
yeah.
just
Wait, hold on. That was when
identity crisis.
Dr. Light had raped or attempted to rape
He
another
did. No, he raped
character.
her.
He
He
raped
did
her.
rape her.
Who was it? Who was it? Wasn't Sue?
Sue
Sue
Dibney.
Dibney. Sue Dibney.
The
He
most
raped her.
one of out of the crises, the crisis, any other
Yeah, that was an identity crisis. So
out of all of them, this is the one. The identity crisis is one of the more controversial
yeah, it was
ones.
because Dr. Light raped Sue. The Justice League took Dr. Light and they all voted to do it, except Batman. He was the only one against it, but they pretty much lobotomized Dr. Light.
Zatanna did.
And Zatanna went and she wiped Batman's mind of everything that
Of
happened.
this.
So because he was against it, Batman was like, no,
Yeah.
we can't do that. But
Yeah.
they forced, they did it anyway. And Batman's like, nah, fuck this. I'm gonna do something about this. And she just mind wiped it. But then he finds out later, and yeah, it was very controversial at the time, especially. I remember that. But that's a Brad Meltzer joint. That's a pretty
Yeah.
good story. I enjoyed it.
And I got that might be part of our events
Yeah,
episodes. That would
let's
be a
do
good
it.
one because it's. But yeah, so next
All right.
episode we will, like I said, Ricky will discuss any of the new ones that are released. I will talk about the zoo. I cannot wait to read that. As far as movies, I don't think anything new is coming out, so we might do a little flashback on something.
We'll figure it out. Yeah,
We'll figure something
we'll
out.
promote it. Yeah.
I actually I wouldn't mind checking out Craven the Hunter.
Mhm.
I'm a Aaron Taylor Johnson fan.
I heard that's
Listen,
trash, bro.
yeah, I mean, listen,
At least it's better than Morbius. So.
if we're going, well, we probably should do that one too
It's
at some
cool.
point.
I'm down. Hey,
Because the thing is, we're
we
as
could do
far as
trashy
movies,
movies too, bro.
you know, and the thing is, when we say trashy, you might end up liking it, and somebody else just might not have liked it. But
I don't know, man. When I see
and we'll
Spider-Man's
continue
got my
on.
favorite rogues, and the way they treat those characters in those movies, man, I don't know about that.
Well, and we'll continue on with X-Men 97. And
Yep.
I mean, it's up to you, but we can also talk damn it, House
Well,
of the
we'll talk
Dragon.
about yeah, of course, yeah. We'll see what we get into. We'll see what we get into.
We'll do, like I said, our channel, it's going to be a little bit more broad. It is actually, because the thing is, we do also talk about House of the Dragon. That would fall under this.
Yeah, of
so
course. It's in the
we'll
intro.
always the episode will drop when we do this episode. Generally, we'll be talking about last week's episode.
Yeah,
But that's
yeah.
okay. You know, sometimes you need a refresher. But yes, make sure, if you have not hit like, if you have not subscribed, please do that before you go. We do appreciate for you watching us, especially for our first time on this. I told Ricky we'll look back at this first episode in a year from now,
Well, yeah,
and
we'll iron out the kinks.
we'll iron out the kinks. So we appreciate everybody who tuned in. With that, Ricky, you want to try to take us home on this one, or you can't do stay scared though.
I can't do. I don't have anything for you.
Oh, you don't have that one?
I'll come up with something. I'll come up with
Next
something,
time?
But
All right.
Next
So
time.
with that, make sure to collect comic books. Definitely subscribe. Not subscribe. I'm sorry.
There you go. Collect comic books.
Make sure go to your local comic book places. Like, help these people out, because the place that I normally collect comics from, and which I was gonna get this from, is right now closed. So comics are a medium that is slowly kind of meeting a very painful way of going out. We still read books, read comic books, go to the local comic shop, you know, support them, because there's a reason that they're open. They love this genre and comics and everything, and without them, you're not going to be able to get your books. So
there you go, Joe. Body horror, Joe. Body horror.
Oh, I gotta buy that one. Is it right now? It just came out, right?
This is a variant, and I got the regular cover too. Just came out.
All right, I might go. Actually,
it's got some graphic stuff in here. It's fucking, so far so good. I'm
Adam, we might go somewhere tomorrow. Even though I said I'll sleep in, but we'll go tomorrow. But yes, thank you for joining us on our premiere episode. Things will get better. You know, we're gonna iron out the kinks. But you know what? Honestly, this is for you guys to join us. I said it in the beginning, and Rick, you know this. Like, this is what we do normally. This is what we do normally. So thank you for joining us. Subscribe, follow, and with that, see you next time.
Read comic books and go to the movie theaters. Support.